So first of all, if you've never attended an ICS meeting and you're interested in incontinence and functional urology or gynecology, neurourology, shame on you. You should have gone already. I think it's probably the best meeting that you can expect to get updates and practice changing information. That's why I would never miss an ICS meeting, because I know after Madrid, my practice will change. I expect that. And the exciting part is I don't know in which way. I don't know what I'm gonna learn, but I'm sure I'm gonna learn. We'll have a lot of friendship moments at the ICS where you could actually discuss with people that you've read everything about, you know their work, and you can actually go into details. There's really no other place where you could do that. So that's why ICS is ICS in the end, and we're really looking forward to meeting all of you guys in Madrid.